Welcome to the GDevelop 5 game development stream, and in this video we are going to be making our leaderboard. And so let's get started. I will now open my main menu, and in the main menu you can see that we have a leaderboard button. It does not do anything right now, so let us make it do something. And in order to display the leaderboard, we will have to know that we will be having two types of leaderboard. One will be the local leaderboard and the other will be the global leaderboard. And so I will make, first of all I will make one scene which will help us select which leaderboard we want to see. So I will create a new scene and I will rename it to leaderboard. I will simply call it leaderboard, right? Leaderboards, because there will be two types of leaderboards in this scene. So I will create a black screen and add animation default resize. So I can put the back button also here, there is no problem in that. And I need now some text fields. I will create one and I will call it leader boards heading, and I will give it a size of 60 I guess, and color should be orange, and the text should read leader, or you can say that uh, select the leaderboard you want to see, right? And make it a little bit good so that it's in the middle, and the size can be 40 also because this is a long text. And you can make it bold if you want, and click on apply, just drag it here. So size is a little bit less, you can make it 60, and that's better. I think one space, yeah, that's almost looking like it's in the center. Yeah, that's good. And so below it we will add two text buttons, two text field, two text objects which will act as buttons, and I will add one of them, and this will be global leader board text, and I will give it a size of 40. Color should be white, and this should read display global leaderboard, and you can make it bold. Click on apply and put it here, and simply duplicate this one and call it local leaderboard, right? And double click it and type display local leaderboard, right? So there it is, we have two types of leaderboards, so we have two buttons for them, right? So now I want to make two more scenes, and those scenes will actually hold the leaderboard, will actually display them. So let me make two scenes and one more. So I will call this one global leaderboard, and I will call this one local leaderboard. So I have two of them, and I will open this, and I will add a black screen. I should have made the black screen a global object, but since I should have done it in the beginning, but since I didn't do it, now I have to make one in every scene. If I do make it a global object, then there will be in many scenes you will have two black screens, so that will not be a good situation. So save it and click on apply, and I'll drag it here. But if you are making the game, you should choose one background which you want to put in the game and make it a global object, so that you don't have to add it in every scene like I am adding. So that's one thing to take care of. And you can add the back button also. I mean, it's important that you do. And here in global leaderboard also, okay, it's a global leaderboard, and in the local leaderboard also you have to do the same thing, create a black screen. There it is. And back button also. Yeah, now I will close these scenes, global leaderboard and local leaderboard. In the main menu events, I want to do something when the player clicks on the leaderboard button. So to do that, I will simply click here, right click and copy this, and I think I will right click and paste also. Now I have two of these, and in this one I will select the leaderboard button. I wonder what name I gave it. Leaderboard. Leaderboard, yeah, there it is. So leaderboard button is called leaderboard, and what it will do, it will pause and start the leaderboard scene, right? And in the leaderboard scene we will get the ability to select which leaderboard we want to see. So in the leaderboard scene I want to first of all simulate the back button behavior. So go to events and click to add an empty event without any condition. Just add an action, button extension, button, simulate back button, press back button and click on OK. So now we have our back button working, and we now need to add some action on these text fields, both of them. So add one event and add condition, common conditions for all objects, and go to mouse and touch and select this one, the cursor slash touch is on an object. And which object are we testing for touch or click? This global leaderboard text, accurate test by default, yes. And then add condition, mouse and touch, mouse button release, and choose the left button, and this is good. And I will simply click here, right click, copy, and click here, right click and paste. So I have two of them, and here I will simply change this to from global to local, right? Now I have two of these. The global leaderboard text will open the global leaderboard scene, and the local leaderboard text will open the local leaderboard scene. And so let me do that. Scene, pause and start a new scene. You can pause the scene and start global leaderboard scene. And in the local leaderboard scene, pause and start a new scene, local leaderboard scene, click on OK. So now these two buttons will take us to global leaderboard scene or local leaderboard scene. And that's I think that's all there is to this scene. I think I can now close it. Maybe I will need to return to it later, we will see that. And so now I will open, I guess, the global leaderboard. Here first thing which we should do is simulate the back button. So click to add an empty event without any action, without any condition, add an action. Uh, the action was, yeah, all the way to the bottom, button extension, button, simulate back button, press and select back button and click on OK. So now our back button will work, and after this we need to add another event and put it at the beginning and add condition in it. The condition is scene at the beginning of the scene, right? So when something happens right at the beginning of the scene, we will do something. I mean, when the scene starts, we will do something. What will we do? We will send a request. So I will simply open my login scene just to copy the code for the request. I do not want to type it all again. I mean, not login request. Login request scene, and here I have this event. I mean, yeah, this action. So shift select both of them, right click and copy and go to your global leaderboard events and paste them, right, and bring the send request to the send action to the top and parse action to the bottom, because we will send first and then receive some data from the server and then parse it, right? So which script do we want to send the request to? The script which will fetch the global leaderboard. So let me just go to my server code and see the name of that script and what it requires. This is global fetch global leaderboard.php, and I will simply open it in Notepad++ just to see what it requires. It requires a username and password, just two things. So, and one more thing I will tell you. What is the name of the script? Fetch global leaderboard. Fetch global leaderboard.php. So that's good. We are sending username and password, so that's okay. And now JSON response from server scene variable should be made. I will make one. Add a scene variable and write the name JSON response from server. You can give this variable any name. So that's and then select this variable and click on OK. And in the parsing section, you should change this to the JSON object variable. Add a new scene variable, call it JSON object, and leave it at empty and click on apply, and then just select the JSON object. So that's it. One more thing which we should take care of is that when the player clicks on the leaderboard button, then if they are logged in, then we will take them to the leaderboard selection scene, and if they are not logged in, then we will take them to the login scene. So that is very important, right? So let's do that. In the main menu events where we have put the touch event for leaderboard button, we should delete this one and add a sub event here. Add a sub event and add condition. In this condition, go to variables, global variables, value of a global variable, and choose is logged in. If is logged in is equal to 0, or equal to 0, then add an action. You should take the player to the login scene. Pause and start a new scene and select the login scene, right? And add another event and click when if you click here, you should add an event, because this event will be at the same level as the event which you have selected, right? If after selecting this event you select to add a sub event, then this sub event will be a sub event of this event which you have selected, right? So if I select this and if I add an event, you can see that this new event is at the same level as my previous event which I had selected. So now let me delete this one, and if I select this and add a sub event, you can see that the new event is actually not at the same level as my previous event which I had selected. The new event is actually a sub event of my previous event which I selected. So that's something which you can uh, pay attention to, take care of. So if you select this one, add an event. So now you have a new event which is at the same level as your event which you had selected. So here also you have to add a condition and go to variables, global variables, value of a global variable and go to is logged in. If the value of is logged in is equal to 1, which means that our user is logged in, and if they are logged in, we will simply send them to the leaderboard scene where they can select which leaderboard they want to see. So click on OK, and this add an action scene, pause and start a new scene, and this new scene should be leaderboards simply, right? So now we have taken care of the login problem, whether they are logged in or not. Now when they will be logged in, then only they will be allowed to view the leaderboards. So now we are sending the request to the server, okay, in our global leaderboards events, and we are receiving something from the server. So let's see in our server code what actually are we receiving. So we will be receiving a JSON array because uh, we have, in this case we will not receive one object, we will receive many objects, many JSON objects, and all those objects will be contained within an array. I mean we will receive an array of JSON objects. So effectively we will receive a JSON array. So now how to access this JSON array in GDevelop? Let's see that. I think I have never really iterated through an array in GDevelop, so I will also have to figure it out a little bit. I will add a new event and I will see if in actions, I guess. Let me see if there is a for each course. Uh, if I type array, then I don't get anything. If I type JSON, then I get something. Okay, and I cannot add a for loop either in GDevelop. For loop, there is no for loop. Hmm. Okay, you can actually simulate a loop in GDevelop because what is happening in a game is that the code which you are writing here in the scene, it is running every frame. So it's running in a loop except for the first one. The first one will, I mean, where the condition is there at the beginning of the scene, this code will run only at the beginning of the scene, but this code will run every frame. So this event will also run every frame, although it does not do anything. We can effectively, you know, simulate a for loop, although I think there must be a way to do that. Oh yeah, there it is, for each object. Okay, there is a while loop also, repeat event, and I can add a JavaScript code. So I will click here and see if I can do something with this. Click to choose which objects this event will be repeated on. Click to choose for which object this event will be repeated. Hmm. I do not know what that means. And while 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 these conditions are true, repeat these. And I will add a condition and I will add variables, I guess. Scene variable, text of a scene variable, JSON object, and not just the object, but I guess I will have to add a variable here to iterate through the whole thing. Hmm. Okay. I will now go to the GDevelop forums to search for some efficient way to iterate through an array, right? Uh, Array iteration GDevelop. Hmm. I can add an array object. How do you create an array? So arrays are not officially supported, I guess. We will have to make some changes in the server code, and basically we were sending a JSON array to our game, and now since we know that it is difficult to work with arrays in GDevelop, I will be sending one single object, and that object will have all the five or the data of all the five people in the leaderboard. So how to do that? You can open your fetch global leaderboard.php script, and if you don't have it, you can simply download it from GitHub. I have put the link in the description, and so you can do that. The only change which we have to do is this, that at the very end, uh, we should we know that we are only fetching 5 records from the database, and so you can do one thing. It is kind of brute force it, but it's easy to do and it is understandable. I will, it's not a good practice in computer science, but we are uh, we have to do something to make our app work. What I will do is simply username 0, profile picture 0, points 0, and I will do the you know uh, index, write the array index here 0 0 0, and I will delete this, not delete, I will simply comment it, maybe I will need it later or something. Yeah, and I will simply, what I will do, I will copy this whole thing and paste it 4 times, 1 2 3 4, and here I will just type username 1, profile picture 1, and points 1, username 2, profile picture 2, and points 2, username 3, profile picture 3, and points 3, username 4, profile picture 4, and points 4, and I will also have changed the index, row 1 row 1 row 1 everywhere, dollar row 1, and here 2, and here 3, and here 4. Okay, so now I will store everything in one object only, and I will not need to have an array. Oh, that will be a little bit helpful for us in because we will be able to easily parse a JSON object in GDevelop. It is difficult to parse a JSON array in GDevelop, and instead of sending the response array, we will simply send the response. Echo JSON encode $response, which is our response here, and now we will receive one object and not an array. So to test this, first of all, I will have to push these changes to the server, right? So let me do that, and I will check if this is working or not. First of all, mm, it's taking some time. So I will pause the recording and I will resume when it has done. So it has done pushing the data. Now I will open Postman just to check if my changes. I mean, if we are receiving one JSON object or not in our new script. So I opened Postman. I will close Git Bash, and here I will. Oh, this is not the Postman in which I was. I have two versions of Postman, and this is some other version. I want the other version. Postman. Yeah, this one. I want this one. Because in this one I have the request for Cool Hunter Downtown. So I will fetch global leaderboard in the body section. I should choose figure 2 because figure 1 has been deleted, I guess. So now I will simply send the request. And I have received one JSON object. I have not received an array. And this a JSON object is signified by these curly brackets. So anything within a curly bracket, within a set of curly brackets, is one JSON object. So we have received one JSON object and not many of them. And as you can see, we have success message and username 0, profile picture 0.0, and similarly username 1 and username 2 and till username 4. So now we will work with this. Although you can see that username 0 is null, this is also null, this is also null, and why is this null? I don't know. Maybe we will see that. We'll fix that in the next video. So in this video what we did was we created the scenes for fetching the leaderboards, and we saw that we cannot use arrays in gdevelop, and so we have done some fixing. In the next video we will do some more uh, workarounds to get our leaderboard to work. So if you are enjoying this stream, please join me in the next video as well. Thank you for watching.